Hi, I'm reading Bible Story, Volume 4. My book has uh, David and Goliath on it. And we are at Part 3, Story 12. And it says one big, and then it says but in quotation. But it's not, but it's not. It's not the but that you might be thinking. It's just the but that is used in contraction to an and. Okay. Okay. I know I went English. That English couldn't thing. I'm sorry, but it's a different kind. Okay, let's get to the story. Great, wise, and rich though he was, Solomon had one big but in his life. You will find it in the first verse of the 13th of the 11th chapter of the first book of Kings. But Solomon loves many strange women. He had many wives, hundreds of them, so many in fact that he could hardly have remembered all their names. The worst of it was that these women were not Israelites, but Moabites, Amorites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, and every woman who God had exactly forbidden his people to marry. No doubt one reason why Solomon married so many wives was that each one brought with her a big dowry from a wealthy father. But though his wives brought him great riches, they turned away his heart. As a young man, he began to reign with his heart set on God. That is why he built the temple and prayed that wonderful prayer of dedication. But when the foreign princesses, and this time it does say princesses, came flocking to Israel to Jerusalem, they wanted to worship their own gods. Of course, they didn't know any better. Some were followers of Ash, Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonites, others of Moloch, the and the abomination of the Ammonites, Moloch. I kind of know him. The abomination of the Amalekites, um, a monothites, to please them and kept them happy and peaceful. Solomon built places of worship for these heathen gods. Likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. The good people of Jerusalem must have been shocked to think that their king, the son of David, should permit such idolatry within sight of the beautiful temple. It was awful. The worship of Moloch called for the sacrifice of living children who were made to push through the fire, screaming in pain and fright. How could Solomon, who had shown much tenderness towards a baby when the two women came to him, now permit such horrible torture of innocent little ones? How far could a man fall? No wonder the Lord was angry with Solomon. He had reason to be. Twice he had appeared to the king in his younger days with promise of great blessing if he would, and it stops there for a second. and it has a picture of of a woman bowing to her god, which probably would be Ashtoreth, because it's a cow god, and most of them are that. And there it is. And I'm just guessing, but I know a little bit enough of my enemy that's what I do. If I look it up and try to do it for myself. Okay. He had appeared to the king in his younger days with promise of great blessing if he would do right and follow the ways of God. Now Solomon had failed him. With all the wisdom the Lord had given him, he had allowed himself to become a fool. He kept not with that which the Lord commanded, and soon began to pay the price of his disobedience and folly. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, forasmuch as this is done to thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee. How sad, how terribly sad. He had started out so well, and God had blessed him so greatly. Now he was rejected, like Saul before him. He had gained riches, power, prestige, everything a man could wish for, but he had forgotten God, and in losing God, he lost it all. Is there a but in your life? Could it be sad for you? This boy has a nice home, have fine toys, a new bicycle, but he tells lies, or he can't be trusted, or he hates going to church, or this girl has wonderful parents, beautiful clothes, the best of everything, but she is cross, grumbling, impatient, and never says her prayers. Let's beware of the buts in our lives. And then it has an illustration of two girls in the 1950s, or 1950 dress. And that's what the illustration looks like. So basically, what this is saying is, the end of this anyway, is be true to your faith. No, I'm not sure. But this is the end of part 3. And this was part 3, story 12. And we're going to take a break. And then we're going to start on our next story. So I will see you in a bit.